Oh dear, something really horrible kind of just happened. All right, so I've been flicking through Instagram and I keep seeing these posts where people are saying insulate your loft better, and then they have these spray things of putting some sort of white foam on the roof and then it all foaming up, and I was thinking, oh, that looks good, that's a good idea. I want that. Let's see if I can get a quote. And then I looked at quite a few of these ads and gave my number and to see who would call me back, and someone did call me back, and I had an arrangement for this guy to come round and give me a quote for how much it would be to insulate my loft better, and he would also tell me the moisture in the air so that I would know whether or not there is it should be worse, if just to basically see like if it needs changing. And the guy was actually very threatening. Like, he first of all started off saying we want to talk in the living room, and then he just gave me a sales pitch saying how after lockdown he was broke and only had £300 in his bank, and then he chose to work this company, almost like he was giving some sort of sob story as to why he ended up in this job. And I'm like, I don't want to know about your personal details, I just want a quote for the roof. And I kind of wanted him to just stop talking about this and just give me the quote. But I was kind of thinking, if he tells me, you know, about the loft insulation, you know, the different things that he's going to use or could use, and then he basically just said I wouldn't use the foam. I don't know why he wouldn't use the foam, but was promoting this sort of special fabric, saying that it's the same price everywhere else, and therefore, I don't know, he was selling it too hard. And I was just like, all right, just smile, nod, and for about a whole hour, talk, and kept going into irrelevant conversations, and then started to talk about how much money I could save on the heating, and how much better the heating will be, because right now all the heating is flowing up into the roof and out through the cracks, and he can stop all that. You haven't even seen it yet, you don't even know how many cracks or how big they are, or I don't know, it just felt like it was too much selling. And then I was just like, right, I am never going to invite a salesperson to my house ever again, this is too much. I kind of wanted him to go, but I was like, well, I just want to get the quote, and then it's obviously going to be in the thousands, and it's not that I didn't trust him, I didn't feel comfortable around him. He had a big beard and it kind of reminded me of Andrew Tate, only slightly older and slightly more builderish like. But yeah, I don't know, I was just getting really bad vibes, or just almost like a homeless person forcing to sell something on me. And then he gave me a big speech about how he contacted me, and I was like, I didn't think that happened. I called I put my number out on a couple of ads on Instagram, and I thought I thought the person who called me up, a woman, was just responding to these quotes that I was asking for, and then he was like, oh no, just coincidence, because I found you. Did you? Really? And then he was saying that this is the company that he works for, but if we did things, you know, a little bit cheaper, we don't have to work through the company that I'm here for. So I'm here to represent a company, but I'm not going to help, you know, sell this to the company. We'll give you the company price, and you know, the company price, they only take out hundreds of this. They only take out 100 of these cases, hence they have to charge a lot more. But I do thousands of cases, so I can charge a lot less because I'm doing a lot more and I have a lot more staff, so I can spread out my staff. I don't know, that just seemed like an Andrew Tate version of a builder, bigging up himself, saying how amazing he is whilst actually working for someone else, and kind of in a way putting down the company that he's working for. And I'm like, yeah, this is not very trustworthy, and I'm going to be polite because I don't want him to think that I'm not interested any longer, but because he was selling it too much, I just completely lost all interest. And I think even if he would have given me an amazing deal, you know, I wouldn't have gone for it just because I don't trust him. And a part of me was thinking, is this guy just a scammer that's just come round to my house and he's just going to try and get, because he kept saying, I'll give you this extra good price if we can work out and get the agreement today, and you give me 10% today. He said he was wanting 10% today. And I was just thinking, what? That's not how companies work. Usually, you know, you give the quote, you go away. Okay, sometimes there is a little bit of persuasion. Sometimes you try and build up some sort of friendship with the person. But this was just a bit too much. I thought this was too much. And then he went up in the attic, started tapping on all the different surfaces, and was like, 15, this is 13. Is that good? I mean, it is actually a foggy day today, and it's been raining all day. So if the moisture is going to be quite a high level, it would be understandable why, because it's been raining all night. So if the moisture level is pretty high, the foam, he did tap on the foam and it was 22, and I believe that is definitely very high. But considering it's been raining all day, maybe, I don't know, you know, he was saying, I've done you a favour, even if you go for nothing, I've done you a favour because you've realised that there's a problem. But I'm not actually sure that there is a problem. You know, 22 is probably quite high, but considering it's a foggy, wet, cloudy day, you know, it might just be 32. It might just be high because of that. And the walls are actually only 14. He said they're supposed to be 9. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I haven't done my research into it, but I don't know. He was almost like trying to tell me that there was a problem and telling me that I recognise that there's a problem, when really I'm like, you don't know what's going on in my mind, because I'm not recognising there's a problem. I'm recognising that there's a number and I want to do my research into finding out. And then he was like, oh, I'll call my friend and I'll ask him, you know, what should the walls be, and you know, you'll find out from him. And I was just like, yeah, no, but that's your friend. Maybe he's deliberately going to be giving a wrong number, you know. I'm sure he said if there's anything more than 20, you know, that's when you know you've got a problem. And the walls weren't 20, they were 13, 14 and 15. And okay, some of the foam was 20, but maybe that's just because it's like a semi-foggy day, and I don't know, but it was just pressurizing, and then I was kind of like, yeah, I wish there was like some sort of big guy in the house. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to get rid of him, but yeah, he's gone now. It took an hour and a half, but I managed to get rid of him. But yeah, I think even if that quote would have been an amazingly good price, I would not have trusted him because of all this. It was too much promotion, you know, demanding a 10% now, right now. You know, I can understand windows doing that. I've had window people come to my house and they demand a sort of 10% now, but those windows were £1,000, or no, less than that. I'm sure the window cost that I was going for was like £100, £200. So a 10% deposit was just like 50, £60. You know, that was the kind of deposit that they were spending. But if he's going to be charged, he did give me a good quote of 4,000, but I'm a bit confused as to what 4,000. That's to take the boxes out the roof and put up some silver foam, and I just didn't trust him. You know, I don't trust that he's going to do a good job. I trust that he's just saying whatever he thinks I want to hear to get the 10%. So 10% of 4,000 is 400, which isn't that much, you know. But yeah, he was basically expecting me to give him a £400 deposit right now, and then he would come back. And even if I change my mind within the week, I'll be coming back. But when I asked him, you know, can I get back to you and let you know at the end of the week, he was like, oh, well, I might not even be in the country by then. You might not even be in the country in a week's time, so what's the point of giving you 10% if you might not even be in the country in a week's time? So just all these alarm bells kept ringing, and then I was just like, I want you out. You're obviously not recognizing it. I want you out. You keep going off topic and talking about irrelevant things and things that have just nothing to do with it, and then telling me that you're scamming the company that you're working for, and it's just too many alarm bells.